This week we have a ton of books on the lineup, so I'm just going to be giving you the blurb summaries and initial information. I'm not going to be going into the author bios or any key selling points, simply because there's a lot of books to get through. If you're an author and you want your book to be considered to be featured on My Radar, check out the link down below. I will also have affiliate links for all of the books that I mention, so if you want to learn more about the books or even purchase one, you can do so there down below in the description. Anatomy of a Meet Cute by Addie Woolridge is pitched as women's fiction and comes in at 332 pages. Sparks fly when an OBGYN butts heads with the doctor at her new hospital in this delightfully charming romance about bad timing, good friends, and fresh starts. The last thing I ever expected was to insult a colleague before I even started a new job. But here I am, already on thin ice after I mistook a fellow doctor for a patient on a bad drug trip. Oops. No matter how handsome or infuriatingly aloof he is, Grant Gaio isn't going to spoil my fresh start. Instead, I'm going to keep myself maybe too busy with my roommates, work, and passion, starting a new program to improve pregnancy care in the community. But getting the hospital bigwigs on board with my idea is proving to be more difficult than I anticipated, and I may be forced to swallow my pride and ask Grant for help. But will working with Grant bring us closer, or will I be crushed under my ever-growing list of responsibilities? Chloe and the Kaishao Boys by Coyiuto is pitched as young adult fiction, romance, contemporary, and comes in at 352 pages. When Dimple met Rishi meets Love Boat, Taipei in this hilariously YA rom-com about a Chinese Filipina girl in Manila whose father sets her up on a marathon of arranged dates in hopes of convincing her to stay close to home for college. A sweet and refreshing story about family, first love, and chasing your dreams, the way Coyiuto writes romance will completely sweep you away, says Dustin Toe, New York Times bestselling author of You've Reached Sam. Chloe knows what it takes to be the perfect Lang daughter, stay in Manila, study business management, and join the family company. But when she unexpectedly gets off the waiting list for USC, her dream of becoming an animator in the United States is suddenly within reach. Before she goes, her auntie insists on planning a traditional debut for Chloe's 18th birthday, and while a party with all her friends and family sounds like the perfect send-off, the huge production her auntie wants, complete with ball gowns and a choreographed dance number, make Chloe want to pass out from stage fright. To make matters worse, her father, intent on finding Chloe the perfect escort for the party, keeps setting her up on one awkward cash show or arranged date after another. Why doesn't her father suddenly care so much about her love life, and what happens when she actually starts to fall for one of the guys only to have to leave at the end of the summer? At home in the Philippines, Chloe has her future all planned out for her. In America, nothing is certain. With a career in animation far from guaranteed, Chloe must decide if following her dreams is worth everything and everyone she'll be leaving behind. Lies We Sing to the Sea by Sarah Underwood is pitched as young adult fiction, legends, myths, fables, Greek and Roman, and comes in at 432 pages. A legendary YA debut, this dazzling sapphic fantasy inspired by Greek mythology will captivate fans of Circe and the Song of Achilles. Each spring, Ithaca condemns 12 maidens to the noose. This is the price vengeful Poseidon demands for the lives of Queen Penelope's 12 maids, hanged and cast into the depths centuries ago. But when that fate comes for Leto, death is not what she thought it would be. Instead, she wakes on a mysterious island and meets a girl with green eyes and the power to command the sea. A girl named Melantho, who says one more death can stop 1,000. The Prince of Ithaca must die, or the tides of fate will drown them all. Sarah Underwood weaves an epic tapestry of lies, love, and tragedy, perfect for fans of Madeline Miller, Alexandra Bracken, and Renee Ahdieh. My Dear Henry, a Jekyll and Hyde remix by Kalynn is pitched as young adult fiction, LGBTQ+, and comes in at 272 pages. In this gothic YA remix of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a teen boy tries to discover the reason behind his best friend's disappearance and the arrival of a mysterious and magnetic stranger. London, 1885. Gabriel Utterson, a 17-year-old law clerk, has returned to London for the first time since his life, and that of his dearest friend, Henry Jekyll, was derailed by a scandal that led to his and Henry's expulsion from the London Medical School. Gabriel has a chance to start again, but he doesn't want to move on, not without Henry. Then Gabriel meets Hyde, a strange young man with white hair and magnetic charisma. Gabriel can't help but grow jealous at Hyde's apparent closeness with Henry, especially as Henry continues to act like Gabriel means nothing to him. But the secret behind Henry's apathy is only the first part of a deeper mystery that has begun to coalesce. Monsters of all kinds prowl within the London fog, and not all of them are out for blood. River Woman, River Demon, large print edition, is coming out, and it is pitched as fiction, thrillers, suspense, and it doesn't have a page number for me. Award-winning Mexican-American and Indigenous author Jennifer Givhan brings us an exquisitely written, spellbinding psychological thriller, weaving together folk magic with personal and cultural empowerment that is perfect for fans of Mexican Gothic. When Eva's husband is arrested for the murder of a friend, she must confront her murky past and embrace her magic to find out what really happened that night on the river. Eva Santos Moon is a burgeoning Chicana artist who practices the ancient spiritual ways of brujeria and curanderism. But she's at one of her lowest points, suffering from disorienting blackouts, creative stagnation, and a feeling of disconnect from her magical roots. When her husband, a beloved university professor, and the glue that holds their family together, is taken into custody for the shocking murder of their friend, Eva doesn't know whom to trust, least of all herself. She soon falls under suspicion as a potential suspect, and her past rises to the surface, dredging up the truth about an eerily similar death from her childhood. Struggling with fragmented memories and self-doubt, an increasingly terrified Eva fears that she might have been involved in both murders, but why doesn't she remember? Only the dead women know for sure, and they're coming for her with a haunting vengeance. As she fights to keep her family out of danger, Eva realizes she must use her magic as a bruja to protect herself and her loved ones while confronting her own dark history. River Woman, River Demon is a mysterious incantation of reckoning with the past and claiming one's unique power and voice. Royal Blood by Aimee Carter is pitched as young adult fiction royalty and comes in at 368 pages. This is the first book in the Royal Blood series. An American girl becomes the British monarchy's greatest nightmare in this thrilling new series where royal scandals just got deadlier. As the illegitimate daughter of the King of England, 17-year-old Evan Bright knows a thing or two about keeping secrets. But when she's forced to spend the summer in London with her father and the royal family, who aren't exactly thrilled she exists, her identity is mysteriously revealed, and suddenly the world is dying to know every juicy lie the press prints about her. After a fun night turns deadly and Evan becomes the primary suspect in a murder investigation, the escalating rumors and fallout threaten to tear her life apart. As she fights to uncover the truth about what happened, she discovers royal secrets that are even more scandalous than she imagined. Secrets that could change the monarchy forever, and her own may be revealed next. Study Break: 11 College Tales from Orientation to Graduation, edited by Aashna Avachat, is pitched as young adult fiction, school and education, college and university, and comes in at 288 pages. This collection of interconnected YA short stories written by Gen Z authors explores different parts of the college experience, from questioning your major to questioning your identity. College, the best time, the worst time, and something in between. What do you do when orientation isn't going according to your sister's detailed plans? Where do you go when you're searching for community and faith? What happens when your partner for your last film project is also your crush and graduation is quickly approaching? Told over one academic year, this collection of stories is set on the same fictional campus, features students from different cultures, genders, and interests learning more about who they are and who they want to be. Gen Z contributors include Jake, Mia, Arlo, Arishi Avachat, Boone Carmen, Anaya Devarajan, Cameron Garrett, Christina Lee, Raquel Marie, Owen, Lila Sabrine, Michael Waters, and Jolie Wellington. The Curator by Owen King is pitched as fiction, fantasy, historical, and comes in at 480 pages. Named most anticipated science fiction and fantasy book of 2023 by the Polygon Tour and Men's Health. Also named a must-read book of March 2023 by Crime Reads and Gizmodo. From New York Times bestselling author Owen King comes a Dickinson fantasy of illusion and charm, where cats are revered as religious figures, thieves are noble, scholars are revolutionary, and conjurers are the most wonderful criminals you can imagine. It begins in an unnamed city nicknamed after the fairest. It is distinguished by many things, from the river fair to the mountains that split the municipality in half. Its theaters and many museums, the morgue ship, like all cities, like all cities, but maybe especially so by its essential unmappability. Dora, a former domestic servant at the university, has a secret desire to find where her brother went after he died, believing the answer lies within the Museum of Psychical Research, where he worked when Dora was a child. With the city amidst a revolutionary upheaval where citizens like Robert Barnes, her lover, and a student radical are now in positions of authority, Dora contrives to gain the curatorship of the half-forgotten museum, only to find it all but burnt to the ground, with the neighboring museums oddly untouched. Robert offers her one of these, the National Museum of the Worker. However, neither this museum, nor the street it is hidden away on, nor Dora herself are what they at first appear to be. Set against the backdrop of a nation on the verge of collapse, Dora's search for the truth behind the mystery she's long concealed will unravel a monstrous conspiracy and bring her to the edge of worlds. The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten is pitched as fiction, fantasy, romance, and comes in at 480 pages. This is the first book in the Nightshade Crown series. In this lush, romantic epic fantasy series from a New York Times bestselling author, a young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into the dangerous and glamorous world of the sainted king's royal court. When Laura was 13, she escaped a cult in the catacombs beneath the city of Delaire. And in the 10 years since, she's lived by one rule: don't let them find you. Easier said than done, when her death magic ties her to the city. Mortem, the magic born from death, is a high-priced and illicit commodity in Delaire, and Laura's job, running poisons, keeps her in food, shelter, and relative security. But when a run goes wrong and Laura's power is revealed, she's taken by the Presique Mort, a group of warrior monks sanctioned to use mortem, working for the sainted king. Laura fully expects a pyre, but King August has a different plan. Entire villages on the outskirts of the country have been dying overnight, seemingly at random. Lore can either use her magic to find out what's happening and who in the king's court is responsible, or die. Lore is thrust into the sainted king's glittering court, where no one can be believed, and even fewer can be trusted. Guarded by Gabriel, a duke turned monk, and continually running up against Bastion, Auguste's ne'er-do-well heir, Lore tangles in politics, religion, and forbidden romance as she attempts to navigate a debauched and opulent society. But the life she left behind in the catacombs is catching up with her, and even as Lore makes her way through the sainted court above, they might be drawing closer than she thinks. The Kind Worth Saving by Peter Swanson is pitched as fiction, mystery, and detective, private investigators, and comes in at 320 pages. In this spectacularly devious novel by New York Times bestselling author Peter Swanson, featuring the smart and complex Lily Kittner from his acclaimed novel The Kind Worth Killing, a private eye starts to follow a possibly adulterous husband, but little does he know that the twisted trail will lead back to the woman who hired him. There was always something slightly dangerous about Joan. So, when she turns up at a private investigator Henry Kimmel's office asking him to investigate her husband, he can't help feeling ill at ease. Just the sight of her stirs up a chilling memory. He knew Joan in his previous life as a high school English teacher, when he was at the center of a tragedy. Now Joan needs his help in proving that her husband is cheating. But what should be a simple case of infidelity becomes much more complicated when Kimball finds two bodies in an uninhabited suburban home with a for sale sign out front. Suddenly, it feels like the past is repeating itself, and Henry must go back to one of the worst days of his life to uncover the truth. Is it possible that Joan knows something about that day, something she's hidden all these years? Could there still be a killer out there, someone who believes they have gotten away with murder? Henry is determined to find out, but as he steps closer to the truth, a murderer is getting closer to him, and in the hair-raising game of cat and mouse, only one of them will survive. The Last Beekeeper by Julie Carrick Dalton is pitched as women's fiction and it comes in at 384 pages. Fans of Della Owens will swoon to find their new favorite author, says Hank Philippi Ryan. It's been more than a decade since the world has come undone, and Sasha Severn has returned to her childhood home with one goal in mind: find the mythic research her father, the infamous last beekeeper, hid before he was incarcerated. There, Sasha is confronted with a group of squatters who have claimed the quiet, idyllic farm as a way to escape the horrific conditions of state housing. While she feels threatened by their presence at first, the friends soon become her newfound family, offering what she hasn't felt since her father was imprisoned: security and hope. Maybe it's time to forget the family secrets buried on the farm and focus on her future. But just as she settles into her new life, Sasha witnesses the impossible. She sees a honeybee presumed extinct. People who claim to see bees are ridiculed and silenced for reasons Sasha doesn't understand, but she can't shake the feeling that this impossible bee is connected to her father's missing research. Fighting to uncover the truth could shatter Sasha's fragile security and threaten the lives of her newfound family, or it could save them all. The Last Beekeeper is a celebration of found family, an exploration of truth versus power, and the triumph of hope in the face of crisis. Sasha's journey is a meditation on forgiveness and redemption, and a reminder to cherish the beauty that still exists in this fragile world. What Have We Done by Alex Finlay is pitched as fiction, thrillers, suspense, and comes in at 368 pages. From Alex Finlay, the author of Every Last Fear and The Night Shift, comes an action-packed new thriller about the lives we leave behind and the secrets we carry with us forever. A stay-at-home yoga mom with the past, a has-been rock star with a habit, a reality TV show runner with a crushing gambling debt. 3 desperate lives, one big secret. 25 years ago, Gina, Donnie, Nico, Artie, and Ben were the best of friends, a bond forged as residents of Savior House, an abusive group home for wayward teens. When the home was shut down after the disappearance of several residents, the group was disbanded. Though the trauma from Savior House has never left them, each went on to successful, if troubled, lives. They haven't seen each other since they were teens, but now are reunited for a single haunting reason. Someone is killing them one by one. It's a reunion none of them asked for or wanted, but one that may be the only way to save all their lives. What Stays Buried by Suzanne Young is juvenile fiction ghost stories and comes in at 272 pages. Perfect for fans of Bone Hollow and the peculiar incident on Shady Street, this thrilling yet heartfelt ghost story following a 12-year-old medium facing an evil spirit and the loss of her supernatural gift is New York Times bestselling author Suzanne Young's middle grade debut. 12-year-old Callista Wynne is about to lose her ability to talk with the dead. Once she turns 13, she will no longer be able to see or speak with spirits, and with only a few weeks left, children have started going missing. When Callista meets the Tall Lady, an angry spirit with a grudge against Callista, her family, and the entire town, she knows she's found the ghost responsible for the disappearances. It's up to Callista, the only one who can see the Tall Lady, to stop her. If she doesn't, Callista won't just lose her powers, she'll lose everyone she has left. A ghost story like no other, What Stays Buried brings together a riveting mystery, a moving coming-of-age journey, and a poignant reminder that those we've loved and lost are never far away. All right, that's all I have for today. If you are curious about any of these books, please check out the links down below in the description. And again, if you're an author and you'd like for your book to be considered to be featured on My Radar, the form that you can fill out is down below as well. And I will see you all very soon with the next On My Radar. We had really high windstorms, and so I didn't have power for 32 hours. So that's why you're getting this video later than intended. So yeah, the next one will be right around the corner on schedule. And I will see you all again then. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share with friends, and I will see you all later. Bye!